Ladies and gentlemen, today we're diving into one of the most talked about questions in modern relationships. What truly draws men to a woman? You've heard it all before: looks, style, confidence, maybe even cooking skills. But the truth is, studies and experience alike point to one powerful, almost magnetic quality, a trait so compelling, 95.7% of men say it's the thing they notice and desire most. And no, it's not about being the prettiest woman in the room. That trait is feminine energy. And before you roll your eyes or get confused, let me break it down with 4 key points. Feminine energy is often misunderstood in today's world, especially in conversations around modern relationships, independence, and equality. When we say that 95.7% of men are drawn to a woman with feminine energy, many people misinterpret that as a call to be passive, soft, or dependent. But feminine energy is none of those things. In fact, it's the opposite of weakness. It's one of the most powerful, graceful, and grounding forces that a person can embody. Feminine energy isn't about diminishing yourself or catering to someone else's ego. It's about embodying a sense of calm confidence, emotional depth, intuition, and authenticity that brings connection and peace into any space. At its core, feminine energy is rooted in being rather than doing. It's receptive, not reactive. It's intuitive rather than aggressively analytical. When a woman stands in her feminine, she's not trying to control or dominate the situation. She allows, she flows, she responds rather than forces. And in a world full of pressure, competition, and constant striving, that energy is deeply attractive and even healing to men who are often stuck in performance-driven, logical roles. A woman who can show up in her feminine energy is not only refreshing, she's magnetic. This kind of energy isn't about putting on a show or pretending to be someone you're not. It comes from within. It's in the way you listen with your whole body. It's in the softness of your tone, the grace in your movements, the openness in your heart. Men are drawn to women who exude peace, who feel like home. That doesn't mean you're always smiling or never disagreeing. It means that even in moments of conflict, you remain grounded in your truth. You express yourself from a place of love rather than control, and you move through life with grace instead of resistance. Feminine energy also knows how to receive. And that's a huge point that many modern women struggle with. We've been taught to hustle, to be independent to a fault, to never need anyone. While independence is important, there's beauty in allowing someone to give to you, to show up for you, to lead in certain moments. Receiving is not weakness, it's trust. Trust in yourself, trust in others, trust in life. When a woman can receive with grace, whether it's a compliment, help, or love, she's signaling to the man that she is open to connection, that she values herself enough to be treated well, and that she honors the masculine energy that desires to provide and protect. Men by nature are drawn to polarity. Masculine energy is about direction, purpose, and presence. Feminine energy, in contrast, is about feeling, creativity, and flow. When a woman embodies her feminine energy, she creates a dance between these two forces. It's not about roles, it's about energy balance. And when that dance flows well, the connection feels effortless and passionate. And when someone who balances them, who softens them, who helps them reconnect with their own emotional depth. Feminine energy does that without even trying. There's also a radiance that comes with feminine energy. You can see it in a woman's eyes, in her smile, in the way she moves through the world. She's not trying to impress, she simply is. She knows her worth, and it shows in how she carries herself. This quiet confidence doesn't scream for attention, it gently draws attention without effort. That, in itself, is the kind of allure that makes a man pause, notice, and feel something deep. It's not just physical attraction, it's energetic. It's a feeling of calm, warmth, and curiosity that he can't quite put into words, but he wants to be around it more and more. Many women today are stuck in their masculine energy without realizing it. They've been rewarded for it in the workplace, in education, and even in social settings. But when it comes to relationships, especially romantic ones, staying in that masculine gear can burn you out and leave you feeling unfulfilled. That's because romantic connection thrives in polarity. It's the spark that happens when opposite energies come together in harmony. When a woman can soften into her feminine energy, when she allows herself to feel, to be seen, to express without fear, she unlocks a kind of intimacy that surface-level attraction could never compete with. Feminine energy also brings nurturing, not in the old-fashioned serve your partner way, but in the sense of emotional warmth, care, and understanding. A woman with feminine energy can make a man feel safe to open up, to be seen in his vulnerability, and to share without fear of judgment. That emotional safety is rare, and men, whether they admit it or not, crave it deeply. They may be drawn in by beauty, but they stay because of how you make them feel. Feminine energy creates a space where both people can be fully themselves, without masks or roles. In the end, the reason 95.7% of men are drawn to this trait is because it's something real, something they can feel. Feminine energy isn't a strategy, it's a state of being. It's not about impressing a man, it's about returning to who you truly are when you're not trying to prove anything. When you reconnect with your natural warmth, your intuition, your softness, your joy, you become irresistible, not just to men, but to life itself. That's the power of feminine energy, and that's why it remains one of the most universally attractive traits a woman can embody. Emotional availability is one of the most powerful and underrated traits that draws men toward a woman. While society often teaches people to guard their hearts, to play it cool, or to avoid being too vulnerable too soon, the reality is that emotional openness is what creates real, lasting connection. It's the difference between surface-level attraction and deep intimacy. When a woman is emotionally available, she's not just present in the moment, she's present with her whole self. She's open, expressive, and unafraid to be seen as she truly is. That kind of presence is magnetic, especially in a world where emotional disconnection is becoming more and more common. Men are often raised in environments where emotional expression is limited. Many are taught to suppress their feelings, to be strong, to stay in control. So when a man meets a woman who is emotionally available, who expresses herself openly and without shame, it can be both surprising and deeply healing. She becomes someone he can open up to, someone he feels safe around, and someone who helps him connect to parts of himself he may have forgotten. This doesn't mean being overly emotional or spilling every thought. It means being real, being honest, being open to love and connection without building walls or playing games. When a woman is emotionally available, she doesn't hide behind a mask. She's comfortable expressing her joy, her fears, her excitement, and even her pain. She allows herself to be seen in her truth, and that courage is incredibly attractive. It shows confidence, maturity, and self-awareness. It tells a man, I trust myself enough to show up fully. I'm not afraid of intimacy. That level of honesty creates space for him to do the same. And when both people are emotionally present, the relationship has the foundation it needs to grow. There's a softness in emotional availability, but there's also strength. It takes strength to be vulnerable in a world that rewards detachment. It takes strength to say, this is how I feel, or this is what I need, without demanding, blaming, or controlling. Emotionally available women communicate from a place of truth and calm. They're not trying to manipulate, they're trying to connect. And that kind of communication is rare and deeply respected by men who are looking for something real. Being emotionally available also means being responsive, not reactive. It means listening with your heart as much as your ears. When a man shares something personal, a woman who is emotionally available listens without interrupting, judging, or fixing. She holds space. She shows empathy. That simple act of being present and emotionally tuned in tells a man, you matter. I see you, I hear you. And for many men, that kind of experience is life-changing. It's what makes them feel deeply connected to you, not just attracted, but bonded. What's important to understand is that emotional availability isn't just about being open with emotions. It's also about being open to receive emotions from others. That's what makes it such a powerful trait. Many people are comfortable giving support, but struggle to receive it. They build walls to avoid being disappointed or hurt. But emotional availability requires trust. Trust in yourself to handle whatever comes up, and trust in the other person to show up with you in it. When a woman is open to receiving love, affection, appreciation, and even constructive feedback, she becomes someone a man can truly build with. Another aspect of emotional availability is the ability to communicate your emotional boundaries. It's not about saying yes to everything or being endlessly agreeable. It's about being able to express when something hurts, when something feels off, or when your needs aren't being met without drama. Emotionally available women don't bury their feelings or lash out unpredictably. They communicate clearly, calmly, and respectfully. This kind of emotional maturity is incredibly attractive because it shows that you know how to navigate the highs and lows of a relationship without creating chaos. In romantic relationships, it's emotional intimacy that creates lasting connection, not just physical chemistry or shared interest. Emotional availability is what keeps the connection alive when the initial excitement fades. It's what allows two people to weather challenges, grow together, and deepen their bond over time. A woman who brings this emotional depth into a relationship becomes unforgettable. She's the kind of woman a man doesn't just want to date, she's the kind he wants to build a future with. When men say they want a woman who's real, this is what they mean. Someone who doesn't pretend to be perfect, someone who isn't afraid of love, someone who is emotionally alive and fully present. And that's why 95.7% of men are drawn to this trait. Because in a world of filters, distractions, and emotional numbness, emotional availability stands out. It's rare, it's valuable, and it's deeply desired. So while the world may tell you to be chill or don't care too much, the truth is that your ability to care deeply, to feel fully, and to love openly is not a weakness, it's a gift. And when you bring that gift into your relationships, you create space for true connection, the kind that most people are silently searching for but don't know how to ask for. Emotional availability isn't just attractive, it's transformative. And when a man feels that kind of connection with you, he won't want to let it go. Confidence is one of the most undeniably attractive qualities in a woman, and it's something that speaks louder than physical appearance, status, or even shared interests. It's not about arrogance or being loud, it's a quiet power, a self-assured presence that shows in the way a woman carries herself, how she speaks, how she handles challenges, and how she responds to the world around her. Confidence says, I know who I am, I trust myself, and I don't need validation to feel. That kind of energy is magnetic. It draws people in, and especially men, because it creates a sense of intrigue, respect, and admiration. A confident woman doesn't seek approval from others. She might enjoy compliments, but she doesn't rely on them to feel good about herself. Her self-worth isn't based on how others perceive her, it's rooted in how she perceives herself. That inner security allows her to move through life with a kind of ease and grace. She knows she has value, and because of that, she doesn't feel the need to compete, compare, or shrink herself. That energy is attractive because it creates a sense of stability and strength, not just for herself, but for anyone around her. Men are especially drawn to confident women because they bring a sense of balance. Confidence in a woman signals that she won't become overly dependent on a man to fulfill her. She can stand on her own, make her own decisions, and pursue her own life. And yet, her independence doesn't come from bitterness or defensiveness. It comes from a genuine sense of self-love. She's not pushing people away, she's simply whole within herself. That wholeness is what draws a man in and makes him want to be part of her life, not because she needs him, but because she chooses him. A confident woman knows her boundaries and isn't afraid to express them. She communicates clearly, respects herself, and expects to be treated with the same level of respect. She doesn't tolerate games, disrespect, or half-hearted effort. And she doesn't settle just to avoid being alone. This self-respect makes men step up their game. It challenges them to be better. A confident woman naturally inspires a man to rise to her level, not through pressure, but through presence. She becomes the kind of woman who makes a man want to become the best version of himself. What's also incredibly attractive about confidence is how it allows a woman to be authentic. She's not trying to be perfect or fit into someone else's mold. She embraces her flaws, her quirks, her story. She doesn't pretend to be someone she's not just to impress, and that authenticity makes her stand out. In a world where so many people wear masks, a confident woman's honesty is refreshing. It tells a man that what he sees is what he gets, and that kind of transparency builds trust faster than anything else. Confidence also fuels ambition and passion. A woman who believes in herself doesn't wait around for life to happen. She goes after what she wants. Whether it's in her career, her hobbies, or her personal goals, she brings drive and purpose to everything she does. That passion is contagious. It lights her up from the inside, and it's something a man can feel instantly. Being around a woman who is excited about her life makes a man want to be part of that world. Her energy becomes a source of inspiration and excitement. But one of the most beautiful aspects of confidence is how it empowers a woman to uplift others. She's not threatened by other women. She doesn't tear people down to feel better about herself. Instead, she celebrates others, offers support, and leads with kindness. That inner security allows her to give without fear of losing. Men notice this. They're drawn to women who create harmony, not drama. Women who encourage rather than criticize. Confidence makes a woman a leader in her own life, and that leadership shows in how she treats herself and everyone around her. Confidence is also what allows a woman to stay grounded in the face of uncertainty. Life is full of unknowns, relationships, careers, the future. But a confident woman doesn't crumble under pressure. She may have moments of fear or doubt like anyone else, but she returns to her center. She reminds herself of who she is and what she brings to the table. That steadiness creates a sense of safety and reliability that men crave in a partner. It says, no matter what happens, I can handle it. That belief in herself is what makes her not just attractive, but unforgettable. It's important to remember that confidence isn't about never being insecure. Everyone has doubts at times. What sets confident women apart is how they handle those moments. They don't let fear define them. They keep showing up. They keep growing. They keep believing in their worth, even when it's hard. And that resilience is what truly sets them apart. Men are drawn to women who don't just shine when life is easy, but who remain centered and strong when things get tough. So when we say that 95.7% of men are drawn to confidence in a woman, it's not just about surface level boldness. It's about that deep inner knowing. A woman who respects herself, loves herself, and shows up with authenticity and grace. That kind of woman is not only attractive, she's unforgettable and deeply desired. Playfulness is a trait that often gets overlooked when people talk about attraction, but it's one of the most powerful and magnetic qualities a woman can have. It's that light, spontaneous, and joyful energy that makes everything feel easier, warmer, and more enjoyable. When a woman is playful, she brings laughter into the room. She softens tension. She makes everyday moments feel special. Men are drawn to this because it offers a sense of relief, a break from the stress and seriousness of life. It reminds them to live in the moment, to not take everything so seriously, and to simply enjoy being together. That feeling is addictive. Playfulness doesn't mean immaturity or being silly all the time. It's about being open, fun, and emotionally flexible. It's the ability to laugh at yourself, to turn mistakes into inside jokes, and to see the humor in everyday life. A playful woman doesn't need everything to be perfect to have a good time. She can laugh when plans fall through. She can tease gently, smile freely, and turn even a quiet night into something memorable. That energy is magnetic because it makes a man feel like he can relax around her. He doesn't have to perform, impress, or always be on. He can just be himself. A playful spirit also builds emotional intimacy. When a woman brings playfulness into a relationship, it creates a shared world between her and her partner. Inside jokes, funny voices, surprise texts, spontaneous adventures. These things build a sense of us that deepens the connection. It creates memories that are unique to the couple, which strengthens the emotional bond. Playfulness builds chemistry without the need for deep conversation or intense moment. It allows love to grow in the spaces of laughter, shared glances, and small, silly interactions that feel effortless and real. Men are especially drawn to this trait because it brings out a part of them that they often keep hidden. Many men carry a lot of pressure in their daily lives, pressure to succeed, to provide, to stay strong. But playfulness lets them drop that armor for a moment. It reconnects them with their inner child, that part of them that just wants to laugh, explore, and have fun. A woman who can tap into that side of a man without forcing it. She becomes a safe space where he can let go of the weight of the world and just be happy. What's beautiful about playfulness is that it creates emotional safety. When you can laugh together, you can face anything together. Conflict becomes easier to navigate when there's a foundation of humor and lightness. It's hard to stay angry when someone makes you laugh. It's hard to feel distant from someone who can break the tension with a smile. Playfulness creates a cushion for the harder moments in life. It reminds both people that love doesn't have to be heavy all the time. It can be fun, easy, and joyful, even when things aren't perfect. Another reason men are drawn to playful women is because they radiate positivity. A woman who brings playfulness into her energy feels light to be around. She doesn't carry the weight of drama, complaints, or constant seriousness. She brings sunshine, and people gravitate toward that. Doesn't mean she never has a bad day. It means she chooses not to dwell in negativity. She can shift energy with a wink, a laugh, or a playful remark, and that power is rare. It makes her unforgettable. Playfulness also shows confidence. It takes a certain level of self-assuredness to be goofy, to be spontaneous, to take emotional risks for the sake of joy. When a woman is playful, it shows she's comfortable in her skin. She's not afraid of being judged. She's not trying to control everything. She's in the moment. And that authenticity is powerful. It draws people in because it's real, and realness is more attractive than any perfectly planned performance. When a man sees a woman owning her joy without self-consciousness, he's pulled in. He wants to be part of that world. A playful woman also knows how to flirt with ease, not the forced, awkward kind of flirting, but the natural, fun, effortless kind. The kind where a glance says everything, where a joke creates spark, and where the energy between two people becomes charged without needing to be intense. Playful flirting is like a dance. It keeps things interesting, keeps attraction alive. And a man who experiences that kind of fun, light-hearted connection often finds himself thinking about it long after the moment has passed. Even in long-term relationships, playfulness keeps the spark alive. It stops things from getting stale. It turns routines into rituals and habits into shared jokes. It keeps two people connected through laughter, through spontaneity, and through joy. Men crave that, even if they don't always know how to say it. They want someone they can laugh with, not just live with. Someone who brings light into their day, who can smile at them when they're stressed, and who can make even the toughest days feel a little easier. So when we talk about why 95.7% of men are drawn to playfulness in a woman, it's not just about having fun. It's about the emotional richness that comes with it. Playfulness creates connection, eases tension, builds chemistry, and fosters trust. It makes love feel lighter and more joyful. It helps relationships thrive, not just survive. A playful woman brings an energy that men just want to be around. They crave it. It reminds them of life before stress took over. It reminds them that love at its core should feel good. And when a woman can give them that feeling, she becomes unforgettable.